The new Livingston Lures Magnus. This is new for 2025, guys. Me and the guys at Livingston worked on this for quite some time to make it the ultimate musky and big pike swim bait. I'm going to show you a breakdown of this bait, how you can get the most of it so you're putting more muskies, more big pike over in Europe in your net. So first and foremost, what differentiates the Magnus from other swim baits? Hard head. Why hard head on a swim bait? First and foremost, it allows us to have the E.B.S technology in the bait and an adjustable weight system. But most importantly to me while I'm on the water is a matter of hooking ratio. So when a muskie comes up, bam, hits this bait, we're not trying to rip teeth through the plastic as a traditional swim bait. So your hooking ratio goes up tremendously. Also, this allowed for this hook to be positioned in such a manner that you're not getting the dreaded swim bait leader grab, right? So you'll see that with some baits where the hook just continually grabs the leader. You're not going to run into that with the Magnus, the way the hook's able to be positioned. Above all else, you know, as a musky guy and a guy that's been doing this for a long time, I hate nothing more than swim baits that tear up plastic baits. So the Magnus, replaceable tail section. So I'm going to show you kind of the most game changer thing here first is a replaceable tail. So let's say we're fishing. Big pikey poo comes up, muskie tears this guy up. We're happy, we got a fish in the net, but now the bait that was working, the bait that was catching fish is torn up. This is how quick we can change this out, okay? So all we're gonna do, grab our split ring pliers. We're gonna remove the rear hook. Take your fingers, bam. We are ready to replace this tail section. So, we'll get close-ups of this, but on this bait, there's a channel already positioned for quick changes, right? So this bait, you don't have to poke, you don't have to prod. This is made for the Magnus, obviously. You just slide it back on. There's line up the holes, slide it in, lock this bait up here, and we are gonna be back in action in just a few seconds, and it is superbly secure, right? You can take this guy. I don't recommend that with hooks, but I like to live dangerously here, right? It ain't coming off there, guys, right? So that's how quick it takes, how quickly you can change that out, right? Obviously, we're going to replace our hook there on the back. So you just grab your replacement body and bam. The cool thing I like about the replacement bodies is the price point on them. Very inexpensive. Compared to buying new swim baits, it's ridiculous. So for just a few bucks, you're gonna get a whole new rear section of this bait. Another interesting thing on the Magnus is the size of the paddle tail, right? So the size and shape is very specified. It is the largest paddle tail you're gonna get on any musky swim bait. So you get a vicious wide swing on this. You're also getting belly roll and a head roll. So I wanna talk about the head section more on this bait, right? So I will grab, in the game of lure design, this is what we call a mold shot. So this is actually the unpainted version of this bait. What you're getting is doubled over stainless steel wire. This is stronger than any other wire you're gonna run into in a hard bait. So this is actually doubled over, protruding out of this bait, and completely one unit inside this bait. Then to the internal weighting system. What I love about the Magnus, and this is like the other baits I've designed, the Kraken and the Titan, you only have to get one bait to have something you can fish shallow, mid, deep, right? So, going to this prototype head, you just take a quick couple turns of a Phillips head screwdriver, right? Bam. This compartment is meant to receive any weight. So here's a little 7 gram, you got 28, you have all the sizes, all the weights that you've seen that work for Krakens and for Titans work with the Magnus. So if you already have a Livingston Lures weight kit for Kraken Titan, it's gonna work with your Magnus. So the hard head section here, very pronounced ridges here that keep the body secure to the bait, right? Receiving in for your weight system, or you can take it out completely. And you have this solid wire construction. This bait isn't going anywhere. This is a very heavy duty head section. One thing that's neat about this bait is the rolled section in the front and the internal weight. So there is a weight that's gonna make this bait run true even when you remove the internal weight kits. There's a little bit of weight here, has a bit of a knock to it, and that's what's giving this bait a very pronounced head wander in the water. So, you know, you go Cool, hey, here's this bait we don't have to fool with much. You've got a bait that's gonna last on the water. One thing I wanted to point out here is the addition of the split ring. So all the Magnuses are shipping with a big oversized split ring to really help that head wander. So this bait's checking in just under the 10-inch mark, and you go, well, that's a great bait for, serious big fish water. A lot of guys get shied off and you go, well, what do we have up our sleeve for something else? Well, I'm gonna show you a little trick here. These are the other Magnus tails. You can take your Magnus, your full-size Magnus here, and we're gonna have these tails out here in just a second, and you can change this bait, bam, on the water. I'm gonna show you this. This is one of my favorite things here. So let's say we've been on a bite, and this is the wasteland color of the Magnus, and you go, man, they're following this bait in, What can I do? Well, the rule of thumb is to downsize a little bit. Well, what are we gonna do? Take our thumb here, line this up, right? Put her on there. You just marry this up, use your thumb. It ain't coming off, boys. All right. Couple seconds here. Downsize Magnus. Checking in right under about the 8-inch mark, so you now have all the wide wander, all the hard head properties, adjustable weighting, the whole deal, and a much smaller package. Now it gives it more of a panfish profile. So if you're fishing places where crappie, when it comes to, say, crappie are the target species, or bluegill or a big heavy musky, that's what they're predating on predominantly. This is going to change the game. So you now have a panfish profile, and you can switch it out. These bodies are not going to come off, right? There's not as much force that you're going to get that body to unseat. So you can, on the water, switch this bait out, change the over profile. You grab the BB perch, bam, we change it out. Cold front hints, you can do it. You want a small crappie body, you do it on the disco shed head. You now have a downsized swim bait. You've only bought one swim bait, and so now you have a downsized swim bait or a full-size swim bait that will fish mid, shallow, deep. The tails are replaceable. You can use it all year long. Has the best paddle tail in the game. It'll do everything you need on the water. One swim bait to rule them all. The Magnus from Livingston Lures.